motherfuckers. Hello to my ballerinas and welcome back to my channel, to my podcast. If you are listening, if you are watching this, you are now tuned in to Bells Be Speaking. I am your host and the originator, owner of this podcast, Coriel, aka Bells. And I am very excited and happy to have you here, okay? Okay, before I hop into this episode, I do want to go ahead and make a couple of disclaimers. The first disclaimer is if you do not like cussing, you don't like profanity, you don't like harsh language, foul language, go ahead and click off of this video, off of this episode. This is not going to be the episode or podcast for you. Second of all is speaking of that foul language, if you are okay with that, but you are listening around sensitive listeners like children, elderly people, or you're in like a quiet environment, I suggest that you put your headphones on, put some headphones on. That way you're being considerate of the people that are around you. And my third disclaimer is, speaking of those headphones, if you are wearing headphones while you're listening to or watching this episode, I suggest that you adjust your volume and set it at a comfortable level where if I get louder, which I usually do, I tend to do very often, like the more passionate I'm feeling as I speak, my volume raises. Set your volume on your headphones at a comfortable level so that way once I get louder while I'm speaking unexpectedly, it won't be a jump scare to your ears. It won't be like, harsh or anything like that. Okay. So those are the disclaimers. If you are tuned into this episode from my website, coriel.com, please make sure you are subscribed to the email newsletter. It's the first thing that pops up on the home page. I was about to say the For You page, not the For You page. On the home page, it asks you to enter your name and your email address, and it puts you on a newsletter. So that way you're notified first. Everybody on my newsletter gets the priority announcements of when I release new episodes like this, new podcast episodes, new music videos, new songs. Even when I post new YouTube videos, everybody on my newsletter gets notified first and foremost before anyone else. So make sure you're subscribed to that if you are tuned in from the website, even if you aren't tuned in from the website. Again, that's coriel.com. And if you are watching this on YouTube, make sure you are subscribed to the channel and your post notification bell is turned on so that way you're notified when I post new content on the channel. But again, you got to make sure you get on the newsletter, on the email newsletter, on the website, because that is where all the juice is at. So that is it for the disclaimers. I'm so excited and happy to have y'all here today to talk about this topic, okay? So let's go ahead and get right into it. Let me pull up my notes because I made a few, I jotted down a few notes of key points that I wanted to touch on while I'm talking about this today. So let me pull those up real quick. So today's topic is about not letting people project onto you, okay? Don't let people project their thoughts, their feelings, their experiences, Don't let people project their limits onto you, their limiting beliefs, Just because somebody else experienced something a certain way, don't mean that that's going to be what's going to happen for you. And I'm also going to get into why it's okay to feel like that and how to not feel like you being oblivious or naive, or don't let nobody try to guilt trip you into not letting you project onto them, because a lot of people will try to guilt someone from doing that and by trying to make them feel as though by not listening to what the projection is that they think you would know it all, or you it's like they try to hope for something bad to happen for you just so they can be like, see, I told you. Don't let nobody try to guilt you or push you into a corner and push you into the corner of what they believe out of fear, because they don't want you to believe your own thing. No, you're not being headstrong or stubborn or nothing like that. You don't have to listen. You don't have to listen to nothing that nobody tell you. This is your life, your experience. You know what I'm saying? you don't have to listen to nothing that they say. It is okay for you to hear something that someone says or hear something that people experience and understand it, yada, yada, yada. But at the end of the day, it is okay for you to have the perspective that that doesn't apply to me. You can see something and be like, that don't apply to me. Hear something and be like, that don't apply to me. And you don't even have to tell people that that's what you're thinking. You can think that, you can know that, and you move with that knowing. Just because your mother suffered don't mean you're going to have to suffer. Just because your father suffered and everybody else in your family suffered don't mean that it's going to be the same thing for you. Just because all the women in your family have a hard time with pregnancy doesn't mean that that's going to be the case for you. Like, you don't let people project onto you. Just because 60% of business, this is a random number, just because the statistic somewhere says that 60% of small businesses fail within the first year, that doesn't, confirmation, that doesn't mean that it has to apply to you. That doesn't mean that you let people, like people in your family or people you are in school with or in your like environment, in close proximity to you, just because they have experiences with failed businesses or failed marriages, that don't mean that you gotta let them project their perspective onto you. If someone else is seeing through rose-colored or rose-tinted glasses, that don't mean you have to look through the same glasses. You don't have to have the same perspective as people, because when you take on the same perspective as people, that is accepting the projection that they're putting onto you. Okay, so that's what this episode is going to be about. And since I've already started diving into it, I'm just going to get into it. Okay. Now, for my first point, okay, first of all, when it comes to not letting people project onto you, and when I say people, I mean people. Nothing and nobody is exempt. Nobody is exempt. Not your parents, not the government, not anybody in the government, not a police officer, not the president. I was about to say the president. I don't know why I said police officer, but whatever. Not the Pope. Not a nun if you're Catholic. Like, nothing and nobody is exempt. Okay? You don't let nobody project onto you. You define who you are. You redefine who you are. You cultivate who you are. You know who you are, what you like, what you don't like, what you accept, what you agree with, what you don't agree with. You define who you are. Not the religion you were raised in, not how things are done in a small town where you came from. Okay? You define that. I want to make sure I'm clear with that, because a lot of times the identities that people are walking around with is just a mashup of the collection of experiences that they've gone through in their life from childhood. Your mama told you you were shy, or your mama said you was outspoken, and then your cousin said you were this, and your teacher said you were that, and then your favorite librarian always said you were this. A lot of people don't even know who they really are. They just know who they've been and who they were told that they were, or they just know who they morphed into based on how people treated them or how people responded to them throughout their life. But that isn't who you really are. Okay? And when I say don't let people project on you, projection is you don't let people tell you, you don't let other people identify the characteristics and traits of who you are. Now, unless you want to, if they're saying some good things, like, you're responsible, you're smart, they're saying affirming, uplifting things, then that's okay for you to take on those, attributes or identify with those things that they're saying, like to take them on as part of who you are, but you don't have to. Okay? Nobody knows you more than you know yourself at all, unless it's Source, because Source created you, right? Source created everything. But aside from that, only you know who you really are. And the example that I was about to say is, let's say you're somebody like me, who, for the most part, you've always been reserved to yourself, quiet, like an introvert, right? People might say, use that label. When I'm saying project, I'm glad that I just said that word. When I say project, I mean that also applies to labels. Don't let people label you as a specific thing. And this is what this is what I mean. I'm just prove it in it or explain it in this example. Being someone who is quiet, right, reserved. Some people might say you shy. Some people might say you timid. Whatever. If you identify with that, like hear people say it and then just believe it, and then you go on and start saying that yourself and believing that and introducing yourself that way and carrying yourself that way, then you morph into that. But the whole time, it could have just been that you're not shy, you're not scared, you're not timid, you ain't none of that. You just know who and who not to open up to. You know who and who not to be comfortable and feel comfortable around. You know, I'm going to be quiet. I'd rather be quiet and reserved around this group of people because all they do is talk shit about each other. They're angry, mean, depressed. They don't like me. They don't like themselves. They don't like nothing and nobody. I'm not about to click with them. And that could have been all that you were surrounded by because of your environment. And then you go to a festival at 21, at 23, or you go to a summer camp at 7 or something, and then you're around different people. It could be any age. You're around different people with different characters, different spirits that you feel comfortable around, that you feel are worth your interaction, that you feel are worth your energy, and they get a different side of you, right? You open up, you're talking, you're comfortable, you happy, you laughing, you happy, you laughing, you playing. That don't mean that you faking it. And that don't mean that if somebody else who, let's say back home, let's say for the example, I said at a summer camp or something. If somebody from back home who's only been around you when you were quiet and reserved, if they were to see you being in your element, you know, happy, laughing, being extroverted, right? If just because they say you faking it or you changing or whatever, you know for a fact that ain't nothing fake about what you doing, ain't nothing fake about you. I ain't changing nothing. I'm being who I've always been and who I really am. I'm just being it around the people that deserve that. Okay? Don't let nobody project or try to tell you who your real personality is. You get what I'm saying? Like, you know who you really are. It's not up to nobody else to say where you faking it or where you trying something or you not being yourself or you different or whatever. I'm going to be who I want to be regardless of where I am. Okay? And if I'm in a group of toxic people, I'm not sharing my energy with you. I'm not giving my best gifts and displaying my best qualities or any of my qualities for y'all to, I'm not casting my pearls before swine. So yes, when you're in certain environments, you're gonna be quiet, you're gonna be reserved. People are gonna have different experiences and memories of you because they were on a certain level of interaction with you. But your job is to not let people define you by projecting labels onto you. You get what I'm saying? It's not for them. You define who you are. You're quiet, you're reserved, that means I'm reserved. That don't mean I'm an introvert. You don't have to say that's because I'm an introvert. You can just say because I'm chilling, because I'm reserved, because I'm relaxed, because I'm calm. When it's time for me to turn up, I get up and turn up. You don't let nobody put you into no box. It's not for them to just assess you and then group you somewhere, you know, so they can, you know, compartmentalize and remember you in their head a certain way. Like, you don't let people just take your energy or take you and do what they will, like where they decide where they gonna put you or to tell you who you are. Nobody is your superior. Okay? That's my first point. I wanted to make sure I honed in on that. Okay? On top of people not labeling you, defining you, determining what is possible for you. I started off saying this when I said, don't let people put their limiting beliefs onto you. You don't let people determine how far you can go or what you can do or what's possible for you based on what happened for them, based on what didn't happen for them. Like, y'all are two completely separate individuals. Even if you was born an identical twin, even you and your identical twin are two separate individuals with your own paths. No matter how similar they may look on the outside, no matter how many commonalities y'all might have, whether it's trauma bonding or not trauma bonding, no matter what, you're still your own individual. Your path is to be your path, your identity, your essence is for you to define, understand, embody, and set the tone for it. Don't nobody else get to tell you, oh, that ain't gonna work. They don't know what's gonna work for you. They may not even be alive to see it play out for you when it do work out. It's on you to not listen to that. Go within and follow your own guidance, follow your own internal GPS system, your own natural urges and intuition. You know what I'm saying? Your own internal guidance, and ignore what they say and keep going on your path. Keep doing what you need to do because it's going to work for you, because it's for you. They're right. It wouldn't work if it was them trying to do it. Almost like the shoe on Cinderella. Like, this shoe was, imagine if it was a custom made shoe. Everything in life and your experience is custom made. No matter how many other people, just because everybody wears shoes, don't mean that everybody wearing the shoes you wearing. Don't mean everybody wearing the shoes I'm wearing. Even if they look exactly the same, that's not their shoe. This is not their life. This is not their personality. Like, you are not nobody's little puppet or mini-me or like little like peon for them to just like project onto. I keep saying project and label, but that's really what it boils down to. You don't let nobody tell you if something is going to work or tell you how far you're going to go. People's doubts don't matter. It don't matter whether people doubt you, whether people look down on you, whether people mock you. It don't matter. Just because somebody try to label you as delusional or delirious or whatever, it doesn't make a difference, only if it makes a difference to you. And the point of this message is for me to tell you to not let it make a difference to you, to not let it impact you. Leave them people and their labels and their projections and expectations, because all of it is coming from their own unhealed trauma, their own unhealed feelings, from experiences that they done went through and never got through. They just got older. They never grew up. They're still that same mentally sad, depressed 15-year-old. That same mentally depressed, confused, angry, frustrated 17-year-old boy in a 50-year-old man body. And now he's trying to project onto you, claiming that they giving you advice, claiming they just trying to warn you, claiming that they just trying to help you. Bitch, you're not trying to help me. You're trying to suppress me. You're trying to limit me. Now, this is where discernment comes into play, because it won't always be that case. That won't always be the case. But if your discernment is on point, which I suggest, if you're watching my channel, your discernment is already on point. If this video is coming across you, that means, you know, your discernment is on point. So we're fine there. But if it isn't, sharpen your discernment. Practice following your intuition. You don't need a sign. You don't need to ask your mama. You don't need to ask your grandma or your Gigi or whoever else. You don't need to ask nobody nothing. Like, there is nothing wrong with following your internal system and then learning as you go from that. You don't got to explain nothing to nobody. It's not for them to like assess you. You're not here to be assessed and dictated by nobody. Because when you put yourself in that predicament, or when you view yourself as that way, as that, like somebody, like you need somebody to just help you, like you know, you ain't you're not no dog on no leash, okay? For somebody to they gonna control you and move you and tell you where to sit and how to go and what to pursue and how far it's gonna go and how much it's gonna work and tone it down. You don't let nobody project. Excuse me, confirmation. Don't let nobody try to push you down into a box or push you down and you the shape of a circle and they trying to push you into a square spot. You the shape of a heart and they trying to push you into the shape of a rhombus spot. You the shape of a rectangle and they trying to push you into a damn octagon square because they remembered when you were 6 years old that you liked chicken nuggets. So how all of a sudden you don't like, you vegan now because you faking it, you just trying to keep up. But girl, like, you knew me. You don't even owe nobody no explanation. If I say I'm vegan, it's because I'm vegan. If it's because I say I never really liked meat like that, it's because I never really liked meat like that. You don't get to tell me, oh, well, you ate chicken nuggets when you were 6, so what's wrong? You acting all brand new since when you don't like chicken. Well, I was eating chicken nuggets because that's what I had to eat. But now that I'm an adult and I can, you know, make my own decisions, I'm deciding that I'm vegan. I don't care what you think about, oh, that ain't good for you, and you don't get to say that I'm, you know, some people might try to say like, oh, you're only changing because something or someone else is influencing you. because you're not expressing your every move to them, or your every urge, your every feeling, your every sensation. You don't, they're not in your head. So they don't know when you're naturally being pulled towards something and going down a path because you feel that urge, you feel that natural draw. They don't know that, but they don't need to neither. It's okay for people to know things about you. I'm not saying you have to be walking around here like in monk mode where you're silent and you don't talk to nobody, you don't interact. Like, you can express things, but you don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to prove yourself, and you don't need to make it make sense to somebody else. If it makes sense for you, obviously you ain't hurting or harming nobody else, nothing like that. Again, use your discernment, use common sense as well. But you don't need to tell nobody nothing. And it's not for them, like I said, to project what the case is for you. Oh, he just this or she just that, or they all look. They don't know nothing. They be loud and wrong with nothing but audacity, mistakes, missed opportunities, and regrets spewing out of their mouth, trying to put onto you to limit you from doing what it is that you want to do, even if that is being peaceful, even if that's living a happy life, even if that is whatever. Sometimes people don't even want you to do that just because they didn't get to do that. Some people can't even sleep peacefully at night. So that if they can take that away from somebody else, then they feel like they're important or they're influencing or whatever the case may be. But you don't let nobody do that. Let them take those games and when I say games, I mean mind games, spiritual games. They trying to do mental warfare, spiritual warfare. Let them play those stupid games and win stupid prizes from those games. Confirmation. On weak people. You're not a weak person. That don't mean you've never been in a weak state or a weak position, but you're not a weak person. And you're not here to be doodled around like you got a puppet master, like somebody get to just to tell you, like determine your existence. That's what this episode is about. Don't listen to something if it don't feel right. Don't be letting people get in your head with these projections because they want to sabotage you, especially when they're trying to project negative things onto you. Again, this is not constructive criticism that's coming from a healthy place that's actually going to help you expand, evolve, grow, and be more solidified and more grounded in who you are than you already are. If it's good advice, it's just good advice. You know if it's good advice. If it's some BS, you know it's some BS. And there's a reason why somebody is telling you that. If you even feel just a little bit like maybe this person just hating, they just hating, then they just hating. You're not feeling that way for no reason. It's not your responsibility to have to listen to what somebody else say. If they want their opinion to be notated so damn bad, go buy a journal. Go start a mentoring program if you really want to be giving people advice so much, like so badly. Because if somebody wants advice, they will ask for it. All the unsolicited advice and warnings and all of that other stuff, you don't have to take that on. You can leave that right where it's at. Like unstamped mail, return it to the sender. People be wanting others to carry their weight and carry their karma and carry the load. They want people to feel the way that they feel. And so when they can identify that and they see that somebody else don't feel like that, somebody feel free, they feel optimistic, they feel hopeful, then here they come in with some advice trying to bring that vibe, pull your vibe down with fear. Don't let nobody pull your vibe down with fear. Don't let nobody pull your vibe down by trying to push you into a corner to silence you or censor you or nothing like that because, they just trying to protect you. No, you're not. You're trying to silence me. You're trying to censor me, and you're failing miserably like they always will because they're not here to be censoring nobody. If anything, they need to be censoring themselves. Don't be letting nobody project onto y'all. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's a teacher or coach. Don't let nobody tell you what's realistic and unrealistic. You decide what's realistic and ain't realistic. This world is evolving and changing every single day. Like everything that came from nothing was seen as unrealistic before it was created, before it was done. And then it was done. And then it was done again and again and again. And then it became regular. But it started off as taboo. Matter of fact, don't even let somebody else decide whether something is taboo or not. If you say it's taboo, it's taboo. If it ain't taboo to you, then it ain't taboo to you. Adjust your environment to you. You don't adjust yourself to your environment. Okay? They don't write your story. Don't let them get in your mind and start influencing your actions, and now you dimming yourself and playing small and walking around here scared and moving in fear and making decisions out of fear. Not grounded. Your emotions is all over the place. Your mind all over the place because you got a muck of a story running through your head based on what your freaking auntie done said. The auntie that's on her 4th failed marriage still can't get it right, and you listening to her talking about what she got to say about how all men is this and all men is that. Your mama, who every man she done been with and dogged her the hell out. You listening to what she say about all men are this and all men do that. When the whole time you can tune them out and follow what your natural instincts is. You could have been created, Source could have specifically created you for people to see someone receiving real love. You could have been specific, like me. You could have been specifically created to receive love. Just so people around you can see that it's possible. But if you listening to people who have only received hatred, you will start thinking you just like them. You're not. It doesn't matter if you was born from the same person. Just because you was born from somebody don't mean y'all was cut from the same cloth. You can be born from your parent and y'all still be cut from 2 completely different cloths. I know because I'm one of those people. The parents I was born from were just my portals. You could have been brought through people that you are related to just as them being a portal and nothing more. Not for you to be sitting around letting them try to deter your path or make up whatever they think your future is going to be. No. Don't be letting nobody project onto you. I hope this is making sense. Let me know down below in the comment section if this makes sense for you. I touched on this, but I'll say it again. You know, especially when it comes to the advice and stuff like that, the quote unquote advice, it don't be no advice. Okay? Self-sabotage. It's sabotaging information is what they be wanting to give. Okay? And you just don't receive it. But especially when they be saying oh, what they bet is gonna happen or what people expect, or I've been alive 50 years, I've been doing this 60 years, I've been blah 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 blah. I bet this is what's gonna happen. That don't apply to you. Right in the middle of when they talking, whether you say it out loud, whether you say it mentally, whether you just completely walk away from the convo, that don't apply to me. Just because you bet this is what's gonna happen, you're gonna find out that was a horrible bet to make, and why gambling is something that people avoid. Now you're going to see why gambling is something that people avoid if they don't know what they're doing, because you bet against the wrong person when you bet against me. That's your job. It don't matter what people bet is going to happen or what they expect, or, every time, every day, so all these generalizations and stuff like that. Don't let them make you feel as though that you are just a part of that group too. That group thinking mentality, you need to ditch that. Especially when you somebody that's going places, you breaking curses, it might not even just be that, you're just living your life, being free, being happy, which is something that 99% of people ain't able to do and they ain't doing. You always gonna have somebody that just wanna pop up and or not always gonna have, but I'll notice it. As soon as you start feeling good, you vibing high, here comes somebody they wanna say a little comment, they wanna try to pull you down. No. Kind of like crabs in the bottom of the barrel mentality. But even when it just comes to energy, somebody see you feeling too good and you smiling, when she saw what he all happy for. He coming here smiling every day and getting on my nerves. So what? Just because they're trying to project their unhappiness onto you so you can feel the way they feel, leave it right there where it's at. You're going to stay right over there mad, bitter, angry, depressed, and upset, and I'm going to keep on feeling good with my day. Next. You're not going to project your sadness onto me. We're not about to sit here and mope and trauma bond with each other because that makes you feel more comfortable in my presence. We're not doing that. Okay? Let me see. I got one other point here. I want to make sure I touch on it. It's not up to them. It's not up to them. They don't get to say, you label yourself how you want to be labeled. Your experiences and the outcomes of your life are not dictated by what other people went through. Your existence is not a reflection of them. I'm going to say that again. Your existence is not a reflection or after effect of them, of somebody else. Their opinion is not controlling nothing for you. You know, just decide and remind yourself that none of that matters. This is one thing I said or put here. Some people just view you as somebody that's beneath them or that needs to look up to them. And so that's why they feel the need to be trying to project onto you or say something to you or help you in the first place. They feel more comfortable with feeling as though that you're beneath them. They feel comfortable when they look at you as if you somebody that you need their help, or you a little like, you know, some people that like narcissistic people, toxic people, they get a kick out of feeling like they are empowered because someone needs them, because someone is inferior to them. And that's the whole thing. The things that they're trying to tell you, or that they are telling you, are for you to stay in that inferior place to them, where you are always going to need them to tell you what to do, or tell you what's going to work, or tell you how to be, or what to say. And no, you're not here to be nobody's sidekick. You're not here to be nobody's nothing. If you don't want to be, you decide what you're here to be. You decide if you're here to be somebody's mother, if you're here to be somebody's father, somebody's friend, somebody's whatever. You know, sometimes it really just be that people just want to manipulate someone else's life, someone else's circumstances, because they feel like they can't do nothing for themselves in their own circumstances, in their own life. So they feel like they can finally do something if they do it to someone else. Because they can't make nothing happen for themselves. They can't fix nothing for themselves. They can't they can't do nothing for themselves. So all the power that they get comes from what they say to other people and what influence or control they have over other people. No. They're already playing a stupid game and failing at it and losing. And it's your job to not play into that game. Okay? So that's all I have to say for this episode. I hope it made sense. Hope you understood where I was coming from. Again, just to recap here, don't let nobody project onto you. You define who you are. You define what's possible for you. You define and decide what you're going to do. You label yourself as who you want to be. You label yourself as introvert, extrovert, ambivert. You label yourself as this or that. You know what I'm saying? It's not based, you are not who your mother said you were. You are not who everybody remembered you as being. You are so much more than even what can be put into words. For some of us, like myself, and if you watching this, you probably more so likely on the frequency that I am on too, where certain aspects of who we are we don't even have words for them yet. Like certain things about us, like it can't even be put into words, because saying it in a simple statement or sentence or whatever, putting it into words would be doing it a disservice, because it shrinks the energy. Like some of us are just so out of this world, like there literally is not even a word to describe who we are yet. And you got small-minded ass people around here trying to project they labels onto you. And their mind can't even think as fast as yours do. Their mind can't even go as far as yours does. Their energy can't even expand as far as yours does. This is beyond how much money anybody have, what their career is. This is about like character and energy and spirit first and foremost. Like these are some people who can't even, like if it wasn't for who you was born by, they would never even like be able to like interact with you. If that wasn't your auntie, your cousin, if y'all didn't share some type of blood, like the type of person you are and the type of person they are, y'all would never cross paths. You wouldn't even be friends with the people that you are related to or that are in your community, just because of where you just so happen to be born at, just because of where your parents just so happen to buy a house. Now you have to go to this school because the school is zoned to this area because y'all are in this zip code. That doesn't, you know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. So you end up at this school with these teachers and these students. That's just because you ended up there, but that's not because that's who you are. You can be whoever you want to be. You can do whatever you want to do. You can identify as whatever. Like, you're not in a box, and you're definitely not in a box based on what the people that are around you, the people in your environment have to say. Like, there are so many more environments in this world that you haven't even been to yet. So many people you haven't even met yet. So many like foods you haven't even tried yet. And if you will really limit yourself, if you let small things try to group you into something small and tell you that this is who you are and this is how far it goes for you. Like, don't let nobody do none of that, okay? Thank y'all so much for watching. I love y'all that love me. And stay tuned, because I will be back for the next episode very soon. Mwah.